I'm so glad you cut it short, because sometimes the introduction is somewhat longer than even how I speak. But first of all, I just want to say thank you. And thank you to each and every one of you, because what you do every day makes such a critical difference in terms of the lives of people with disabilities. And Ari, I don't ever want to follow you as a speaker again. But thank you for inviting me to join you here tonight on your fifth occasion to do this. I'm absolutely thrilled to be here. I want to commend ASAN for everything that you have done. Over the past 5 years, you have really and truly changed the landscape of self-advocacy for adults and for kids with autism. ASAN is recognized as a leader across this country in public policy initiatives, advocating for greater support and understanding for adults and children on the autism spectrum. All of ASAN's efforts have paid off because you really and truly have improved the life and quality for countless people across the country. Thank you for everything that you've done and will continue to do in the future. You know, whenever I talk to groups, I always want to put it back in the eyes of the people for whom we're responsible for. I want to tell you about a success story, of which there are many, and Ari, you are a great example of a success story. But the one that I want to talk about tonight is Eric Duquette. He's the salutatorian of his high school. He's an honor student, a musician, and he is autistic. Eric, who could not say a word until the age of 5, is now 18, and he delivered the commencement speech at his high school graduation ceremony in Smithfield, Rhode Island. His speech, funny and touching, was met with enthusiastic applause from his peers. Part of what he said: "My parents were told I would most likely end up in an institution," said Duquette. "I stand before you accepted into every institution of higher learning I applied to." What an outcome. Eric graduated from Smithfield High School with the second highest grade point average in a class of just under 200 students. He will attend Rhode Island College in the fall with plans to study biology, and eventually he wants to become a pharmacist. Eric's mother, Judith, began working with him early to break down his communication barrier with speech therapy. In addition, though, and this is what so many of you parents do all the time, what his mother did is he taught him sign language, and she used cards with pictures and symbols. Despite his early struggles with speech, today he speaks both English and Spanish. He's a member of the Spanish National Honor Society, and he placed 93rd in the nation on the Spanish 5 exam. What an incredible, achievement for him. Eric's words in the commencement speech offers wisdom for every single one of us. He said, "Do not allow yourself or others to be defined by your limitations, but rather abilities. Never underestimate yourself." Eric is just one of the countless success stories of students with autism, but we can never stop what it is that we're doing. Parents, teachers, students, and leaders play an incredible role in fulfilling the promise that an education door unlocks for every single one. Just think about this. In 2010, we served almost 6 million kids in this country, ages 6 to 21, who have a disability. 370,000 of these kids are kids who have autism. This equates to just over a little of 6% of students who receive special education services under IDEA. Since 1992, think about this, when we really started collecting information about kids with autism, we served in 1992 15,000 kids with autism. And how many do we serve today? The 370,000, an increase of over 41%. As the incidence of autism continues to grow, we know that there are challenges that lies ahead of us. We know that providing students with the services and supports they need for success has the ability to result in tremendous outcomes, just as it did for Eric. One of these services includes supporting students as they transition from one setting to another. Youth with autism, as you're well aware, have a right under IDEA to appropriate transition services that include instruction-related services, community experiences, the development of employment, and other post-school adult living objectives. Incredibly important, and probably one of the most significant things we prepare kids for, and it's for the future. Careful transition planning is critical for youth, especially youth with disabilities. In 2009, Wayman, Smith, and Shaw recommended 5 different guidelines or practices for youth with autism as they transition from secondary to post-secondary or the world of work. And the 5 things include: we need to be focusing in on implementing positive behavioral supports to address the behavior challenges, matching the IEP to a vision for the future, how critically important that we have a vision for where we want to head, capitalizing on truly inclusive experiences, providing a variety of community-based job and life experiences, and finally coordinating a smooth transition to new resources and service providers in the community. By concentrating on these 5 areas of practice, post-secondary education has truly become one of the primary post-high school goals for more than 4 out of every 5 secondary students with disabilities who have transition plans. Just think about this, between 1998 and 2009, the post-secondary enrollment for students with disabilities increased by 38%, and 4-year college enrollment increased by 13%. Now, it doesn't mean that we've reached what we need to, but we have reached at least, and we're achieving more and more every single year. We know that in order to achieve transition and post-secondary goals, it's crucial for students with disabilities and their families to be involved in the issues that relate to them. Success is absolutely contingent on working together. Families are critically important in part of this equation. We realized this a long time ago. We in OSERS have funded 107 parent training and information centers throughout this nation. These centers are designed to provide resources for families of individuals, especially for those with autism, information on how to access the systems and how to access the financial resources available. And there are tremendous trainings, webinars, and one-on-one consultation. In addition to providing these external supports, one of the greatest ways we can prepare students for the future is by building their self-advocacy, as ASAN is absolutely, they understand. Self-advocacy is invaluable to supporting a successful transition for students with autism. Ralph Abernathy, a civil rights activist, said, and I think he said it very well, "I don't know what the future may hold, but I do know who holds the future, and it's in the hands of the people themselves." The development of self-advocacy skills is seen as a key catalyst for achieving success in post-high school outcomes. We at the Education Department really believe that every student, and I mean when Arnie and President Obama and we talk about it, we are saying every student should graduate from high school ready for college and a career, regardless of their income, race, ethnic or language background, or disability status. The Secretary has outlined, as I'm sure many of you are aware, a very comprehensive education agenda. It includes a focus on early learning programs because we know that we need to start long before school, but long before kids even start school. That elementary and secondary schools need to keep children on track to graduate from high school with the knowledge and skills that they need for post-secondary success. And a higher education system that really provides every individual the opportunity to attend and graduate from a great program. This agenda applies to every child, including children and youth with autism. Our goals for meeting the needs of students with autism are further supported by Arnie's comprehensive reform agenda, which spans from cradle to career, and in the line of work that I'm in, not only cradle to career, but to the end of life. We need to address the needs of all students, and we need to build the capacity for systemic continuous improvement. Every day, headlines in the news remind us of the challenges facing our social services, of which education is one of the major areas. And I see it, the only way to solve these challenges and to continue to improve the services that we provide is to work together. We need students with disabilities to be involved in every single reform effort that we talk about. I have really come to believe in the African proverb that says, if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go together. I don't know about you, but I want to go far. So it's time for us to renew our partnership, as we always have, in keeping this promise to our youth. Thank you very much for everything that you do.